What are the kingdom greatness based on Matthew 27, 17 to 19? As Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples aside. See, we're going to Jerusalem. The Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and scribes, and they will condemn him to death and deliver him to the Gentiles to be mocked and flogged and crucified, and he'll be raised on the third day. This is kingdom greatness. You know, our kingdom greatness usually is measured by how big our congregation, how big our offerings, how many missionaries we sent, and all this. But Jesus measured his kingdom greatness because all Jesus is talking about is his kingdom. The first thing he's talked about is a cost to be counted. Verse 18, Jesus said, we're going to Jerusalem, and there's a price to pay over there. Why? Because of what awaits Jesus. Jesus said, the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and scribes that will condemn him to death and deliver him to the Gentiles and be mocked and flogged and crucified. He'll be raised on the third day. I'm thankful that there's a last word, that he will be raised on the third day. Jesus knows precisely what's going to happen to him. And still going ahead. That's called counting the cost. That is kingdom greatness. You know, you can't have the kingdom greatness unless you know after the greatness what's going to happen. Jesus knew after his sufferings, he will be raised on the third day. After he was killed, he will be raised on the third day. So, this is kingdom greatness. He knew that he's going to be condemned to death. He's going to be flogged. He's going to be mocked, flogged, and crucified. Yet he went ahead. This is accounting the cost. But that cost is not a miscalculation because he will be raised on the third day. It'd be foolish and idiot to go ahead and blindly die for a great cause, no matter how great cause it is. If you don't know you're going to win, you're going to pay the price, count the cost, pay the price if you're going to win. You know that you're going to win. Okay. So this is great. So this is a note here from Dr. Wingard. He said this, Charlie Wingard. Many pastors and other leaders leave the positions because shattered expectations. They expect people to follow them eagerly. They expect a little opposition. They ignore the problem. Suffering for righteousness, death, the soul resurrection, he failed to count the cost, even though it is clearly laid out both in scriptures. So, being a pastor is difficult because you're going to face the challenges, the oppositions. If you don't count the cost, they'll crucify you. Not in a literal sense, but a metaphoric sense. The second thing is a temptation to be resisted. The temptation happens when you know what's going to happen to you. Now, in Jesus' case, he knew exactly what's going to happen to him. He's going to be mocked and be flogged and be killed and be condemned. And he went ahead, knowing that. So there's a temptation to run away from the cross, which actually did happen in some kind of way, that Jesus was fighting against the temptations of going to the cross. Even he tried to run away from the cross. So, this is quite incredible for us to think that we become pastor's ministry and not facing the temptation. We're being naive. Number 3 is a position to be assumed. Verse 24 to 26. The rulers of the Gentiles lorded over them, and they have exercise great authority over them. They conquer people abuse people, bully people, intimidate people. This is the only type of leadership that people see. Some people may come to our church. In mind, they are acquainted with the world. The way the world works is not the way kingdom works. Verse 26 says, instead, whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant. Whoever wants to be first, he must be slave. The Son of Man came not to be saved, to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. So kingdom greatness is not measured by how many people you serve, but by your readiness to serve many people. Kingdom greatness is not measured by how high you ascend on the ladder of success, but how you descend to serve Christ, people, and the world. Kingdom greatness is not measured by how far you get ahead. It's by how close you draw close to those you serve. Kingdom greatness is not measured by how much you serve, but by how much you give. So, Jesus' way of position, because the mother of Zebedee are trying to put the two sons into the great positions, asking Jesus. And Jesus told them that the rulers of the Gentile lord over them, but it shall not be so with you. Instead, whoever wants to be great, you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first, you must be slave to serve first. So the kingdom greatness is measured by your position of serving others. This is three positions. Okay, three positions of measuring greatness in the kingdom of God. Actually, it's four. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth measurement is not about your ambition or your position. Humility means you serve, you love serving more than you crave leading. This is a very psychological worldliness. There's a kind of serving. It's actually more measuring of greatness. All right, because one of the ways Jesus serves is serve you through his people. Okay, if the pastor refuses the service of God's people, pastors can get burned out. If you want to be great in the kingdom of God, you must first to be served by Jesus. Kingdom greatness number 4 is that you have the humility to be served by others. And you love serving others more than you love leading. The real leadership is serving leadership, really. Amen.